Will they stay or will they go? A week from Britain's EU referendum, it could go either way. I'm Jessica Stone in Washington, D.C.
And I'm Michelle McCory at the NASDAQ market site in New York's Times Square. They're vanishing and we don't know why. As honeybee numbers dwindle, global economies start to feel the sting.
Coming up on Global Business America, tough new banking regulations are cutting off the lifeline for some charities as accounts are canceled and money transfers delayed. And more urban rooftops are becoming a beehive of activity, literally. But first, the increasingly heated debates in the UK over whether to leave or stay in the European Union were silenced today. That is after a British Minister of Parliament was attacked and killed shortly after meeting with her constituents. As Richard Bestick reports, it's the first assassination of a lawmaker in more than 25 years.
Jo Cox.
Jo Cox, a wife and mother of two, was also one of the British Parliament's rising stars.
Isn't it time for a rethink in the UK strategy to focus much more on civilian protection, and to that end...
She was attending her weekly session set aside to listen to the concerns of the public. Eyewitnesses talked of hearing a pop and screaming. Police sealed the area where the MP was left bleeding to death by her attacker. Media reports suggested she was shot twice and stabbed. Police arrested a 52-year-old man.
Shortly afterwards, a man was arrested nearby by local uniformed police officers. Weapons, including a firearm, have also been recovered.
Jo Cox's parliamentary colleagues have been paying tribute, her death bringing to a stop the country's fiercely divisive referendum campaign on EU membership.
This is absolutely tragic and dreadful news, and my thoughts are with Jo's husband Brendan and the two children and their wider family. We've lost a great star. She was a MP, great campaigning MP with huge compassion, with a big heart, and people are going to be very, very sad at what has happened. Dreadful, dreadful news. It's right that we're suspending campaigning activity in this referendum, and everyone's thoughts will be with Jo's family and with her constituents at this terrible time.
Tributes also came in from Germany, the United States, and from the International Monetary Fund. As the UK's Union Jack flag flew at half-mast over Britain's Parliament, the first questions were being raised as to how to protect members of Parliament while ensuring they stay close to the people they represent. Richard Bestick, CCTV, London.
And in the days leading up to the attack, the debates between the pro and anti-Brexit camps were getting pretty heated. Even the British Central Bank weighed in, warning that the EU referendum is, quote, the largest immediate risk facing global financial markets. But the Bank of England also said it is prepared to deal with the fallout should a Brexit happen. Leaders from other EU member nations, such as Slovakia, Spain, and Germany, say they hope the UK votes to stay. Several companies have also expressed outrage at the pro-Brexit camp for using corporate brands without permission in their advertising. General Electric, Unilever, and Airbus executives say they're disappointed that their names were used in what they called propaganda leaflets. All of the companies sent a letter to the Vote Leave campaign saying that the UK is better off in the EU. U.S. President Barack Obama says a Brexit would not be good for his country's trade relationship with the UK. The Republican candidate to replace him, Donald Trump, says it won't matter if he's elected president. The contrasting positions are confusing for U.S. importers of British goods. Our business correspondent Owen Fairclough explains.
The sound of more than a century of British motor manufacturing. Morgan cars like these three-wheelers are individually handcrafted in rural England. They're partly built from wood and sold all over the world, including rural Pennsylvania.
It is a tremendous amount of fun. You can make a bit of a racket. You have the wind in your hair. When you put them in a modern car with GPS and all the gadgets on the dashboard, it's no escape. It's just humdrum. It's just business as usual.
And UK manufacturers like Morgan are asking themselves if business as usual will resume after this historic referendum.
You pay around $50,000 to buy one of these little beauties and bring it into the US. On top of that, you have to pay around 2.5% in import charges. Now, under the terms of a proposed transatlantic free trade deal, those import charges would be eliminated for all European countries. But if the UK leaves the European Union, it won't benefit from those eliminated import charges.
I'm going to open up the bonnet here.
$1,000 or so in import charges isn't much for Morgan's wealthy target market. But with $57 billion of British goods exported to the US last year, those charges would leave the UK at a competitive disadvantage against European rivals. And the US is in no hurry to strike an independent free trade deal with a Britain outside the EU.
Maybe some point down the line there might be a UK-US trade agreement, but it's not going to happen anytime soon because our focus is in negotiating with a big bloc, the European Union, to get a trade agreement done. And UK is going to be in the back of the queue.
At the back and losing money. The British pound has been sinking against the dollar over the prospect of a British exit, making the UK's short-term future even more uncertain, even if the current exchange rate is beneficial to this dealership.
When we started this back in 2011, we were paying $1.65 to $1.69 a pound, and it's been lovely to be paying $1.45 a pound, $1.42, and it would be painful for that to go back up. I do think it's a good idea for Great Britain to be part of a larger community.
Republican presumptive nominee Donald Trump says if he wins the White House, the UK leaving the EU won't be an obstacle to a bilateral trade deal, leaving this classic car company with a more open road. Owen Fairclough, CCTV, Lewisbury, Pennsylvania.
Tough assignment there for our Owen Fairclough. Well, for more on the UK and the ramifications of a possible Brexit, I am now joined